receiving jail time. If you think
Right.
Trump is going to be locked up, think again. That dude is above the law.
But they're facing it. That's the point.
No, they're facing a horse and pony show. it's, it's political theater. That's what they're facing. But the funny thing is that now Trump has to be president just to stay out of jail. They just put the fire up under that guy.
I'm not a Trump fan, but I'm actually surprised that he lost 2020. I thought he was gonna win that one. I was surprised that he won in 2016, but I was also surprised that he lost in 2020.
Well, here's the thing. Understand that Trump, the only reason why Trump lost, to be honest, was because he was bumbling the pandemic and people were scared because they didn't know what the hell was happening. You know,
I thought the riots was gonna seal a deal for him and get him a victory.
that was one aspect.
Yeah, but I thought people were gonna say this is what happens.
Dude,
The
Trump is
Democratic.
massively incompetent. Put everything else to the side. This dude doesn't know what the hell
I
he's
I
doing. Plus, he's
I,
arrogant.
I agree with all that, but you have to put your mind, you gotta put yourself in the perspective of a white rural southerner who's thinking, look at they're destroying the cities. This is why we're voting for Trump. So I'm surprised that he didn't win because of what happened in 2020.
Nah, there's more to, even with them, they choose Trump because they're desperate. That's really the reason why they even tolerate Trump. It's desperation. They don't really like Trump all like that. It's like they feel there's no other choice. I mean, Biden is just piss poor. I mean, I don't trust him whatsoever.
Oh shit, I'm dead.
I mean, the current administration now, it, man, all these illegal immigrants just flooding this side of town. Populations from other countries are just making their way here, trying to set up shop. And the Biden administration is not taking that stuff seriously. They're very benign with how they're handling this stuff, but it's like, these
And
guys, they're coming
like
here
I
looking
said,
for a way to finesse citizenship. It's like that 14th Amendment. They're using the Democrats, as a leverage point to stick around here for years and years and years and years and years until the conversation becomes, oh well, we can't deport them, so now they have to stay. Like they're doing that kind of stuff. I mean, what do you say about people who are just showing up all of the time Biden's been president? I think there needs to be a track to fast deportation for these new arrivals. All this newly 700 million, hell no. That's crazy.
what are you referring to?
Huh?
What are you referring to?
I'm referring to the people who just showed up while Biden was president,
What people?
specifically them.
Who are them? What are you
I'm
talking
talking
about?
about illegal immigrants, people who make their way up here and just stick around, what I'm
And what
saying,
type of immigrants are you
ducking the
referring to?
radar.
'Cause I actually think some immigrants will make this country better. But what immigrants are you referring to?
I'm talking about anybody who's here illegally.
I think we
Anybody who
need.
anybody who didn't use it, anybody who didn't use the proper channel to immigrate here, but used the side door to try to stay here. That's what I'm talking about.
I think we need more South Koreans in America.
No, we don't need more of any people coming here illegally. If they come here illegally, that's a different ball of wax. But people just showing up, nah.
And my biggest concern is the inner cities. And I think if we
Well,
ship
you're trans
South
Asian.
Koreans, well, no, if I think if we ship South Koreans by the busload to every urban city with high crime rate would decrease.
You
I
do
truly believe
realize
that.
that life is different when it comes to their side of town. I mean, you keep holding these people up to the highest standard imaginable. Everybody really is at the same level when it comes to what they will and won't do.
I don't
You
know,
know,
dude.
every demographic has its underclass, and then their side of town when it comes to how Asians get down. There's a prostitution, this and that. There's an underbelly to their society also. You keep thinking about them to this high unrealistic,
No one said there
degree.
wasn't.
Like
No one said there wasn't.
Well, the way you speak of these people, you would think they have nothing the
No,
matter with them. The way
I'm
you
just
speak about yourself,
I'm
you would think
going
that you're the bane of existence.
I'm going by statistics. Statistically,
Huh?
are statistically they have a very low crime rate compared to
Okay.
Hakeem. Yes, I know people don't care about numbers and facts and logic,
I don't
but
care about
I
buck
can't help
dancing.
you with that. I can't help you with that.
I don't care about buck dancing.
Well, buck
You know,
dancing is
you
reality.
no, because here's the thing, Spike. You don't
You
see
gotta
the
mix
greatness
in
within
reality.
yourself. You always have to look outwards to somebody else to praise because you hate yourself.
I
And look,
wouldn't
I
say that.
understand you
I'm
live to a
saying
high crime area. I would probably
saying
feel the same way
reality.
you do if I saw that stuff routinely.
I think reality is more important than memes and what we consider to be buck dancing, or I think
And
reality should matter more. That's what I
your
think.
whole way of thinking, Spike, really is anecdotal. You base it off stuff that you've seen, but not stuff that's collectively the case.
I could throw the same argument your way.
And
'Cause I've seen a lot of shootings, a lot of violence,
look,
and
I understand that.
we're supposed to be upset over something that happened today when there's literally a gang war.
Let me tell you
Hundreds
something.
of
I'm
young
not
black
I'm
men.
not sitting up here making excuses for these people. I'm just saying I'm not going to sit around them and let them be the face of us as a community. That's what you keep doing. You
Well,
keep making them the
I
representatives of us as a whole.
if you look at the numbers,
They
the
are the
numbers are
underbelly of our society, the same way Asians have their underbelly, the same way white society and
saying that,
the Jewish community and
that's
the
not
Arab community. All of us have you know dregs among our communities.
so if you're going by that logic, then the numbers should be equal when it comes to high crime, right?
Well, it
There should
depends
be
on the
numbers.
area, man. When you talk about people, when you talk about crime rate, you're talking about people who are basically stealing, what I'm
Okay,
saying, to make up for stuff that's not there.
let's use Philly for example. Philly's not
Shoot,
a black city, it's not a white city. It's
what'd you say?
definitely so Philly's not a white city, it's not a
I
black
can't hear
city.
you past your fan, man. Get the fan away from your mic.
It's like
Your
you might
mic
have
is.
to turn you might have to turn the volume up.
No, what I'm trying to say is I hear the fan more than your voice.
What I'm saying is I'm not going to sit with you for the sake of a conversation. So I
Well,
don't
you
know
need
if
to talk louder, man. You need to raise your voice.
that's not necessary. Just turn the volume up, sir.
If I turn you up, I'm going to turn the fan up.
See, here's the thing.
There we go. Perfect.
Most people don't live out in the middle of the boondocks and no one can hear them. Most people live in conjugated cities and row homes with neighbors. We don't live in single houses like you do with your ass, sir. So I can't be as loud as I would like to. Okay? I don't have the privilege to
Are
have
you afraid you're going to be
imaginary.
shot by your neighbor, Spike?
I don't know, but the point is, I don't want my neighbors to know I have anything. That's not a good thing to share with people.
Yeah. Look, man, I understand. You feel jaded by, where you're at.
You don't understand.
I do understand.
No, you don't, because you think that everything is all treated equal, and if
No,
there
I'm
was,
saying, no, what I'm saying is that this is what stuff should be.
well, I
You
showed
should
you
be
what the
judged by the
stats were.
content of your character and not
It's
the color
okay.
of your skin. But what I'm trying to say is, when it comes to you, you
What
have this
about
thing to
what
where you
about
see us
stats?
to a less degree by
What about
comparison
stats?
with anything and everything
Stats
outside
matter.
of us.
Stats matter.
Yeah, so does sabotage, man. You do realize our circumstances are done by
It's always an
design.
excuse. It's
No,
always
it's
an
not an
excuse.
excuse. It's a rhyme and a reason.
The point is, the point I was trying to make before you cut me off. Philadelphia has about as much white
You know
people
what the
as it does
problem?
black
You know
people.
what the real problem is?
We have the overwhelming majority of
Do you know what the real problem is, Spike? That whenever it comes to issues and crime and statistics, this and that, whenever it comes to black people being the face of something, there's never a reason given. It's always something genetic. It's a cultural thing. It's this and it's that. It's never,
But
hey man, you know something? These guys are dealing with economic deprivation. That's why, you know what
it's
I'm
just
saying,
that
there's the
here's the
high
thing:
crime rate that you see.
there's
It's never
people that don't.
diagnosed as us
There's
having a
people that don't even
problem that we
acknowledge
need to
that there
face.
is a
It's
problem.
always, no, it's always seen through the lens of that's who we are.
You said there isn't a problem. Everyone is equal.
No, what I'm trying to say is when it comes
So
to
is
how
it? So
people
is there?
move,
Or is there
if
not a
you go
problem?
without Spike, you will become a thief. You know, this stuff isn't complicated. I would just like to see us extended the same damn courtesy everybody else is given. You know, I
So
mean,
you're admitting that
they can go out and commit a mass shooting, and I have to hear about how they were bullied.
you're
We
admitting that
go out and
there's
steal something, and I have to hear about how it's a cultural thing, and if we weren't so genetically fucked up, then we would be better citizens of society. I'm not dealing with that.
well, that's the conversation we had after the fact that people can even
No, with
acknowledge
us,
that
it's
there's.
always genetic.
I don't.
It's always some Nazi-esque excuses given as a rhyme and a reason as to why we don't need to live and why society would be better better without us.
You can't acknowledge that there's a problem. You just said that.
No, I acknowledge the problem. I acknowledge what's causing the problem.
So what is
You
it?
just
Is
like to
everything
skip over
equal?
past that and say, "Hey, that's just us."
Is everything? You just said everything is equal about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, I see it as
So how is
equal
everything
from the
equal
stand.
when there's
Well, you
also
have
problems?
Spike, you have to listen to what I'm saying if you want to understand the full scope of what's being said.
I'm
What
listening
I'm
to
saying is
everything you
that
said.
people are people at the end of the day, but circumstances will dictate how you respond to stuff. It will dictate disparities and everything else. Your environment creates who you are. You know, I'm not going to sit up here and ignore that. Why the hell would I do that?
That
That's a
sounds
buck
good.
dancing, butter
Listen,
biscuit.
it sounds
That's
great.
butter
It
biscuit
sounds great.
babble.
But after several years of 500 murders in each urban area, you kind of get tired of that excuse.
You do realize I don't give excuses. I give rhymes and reasons, and I'm not saying that, hey man, you
You
can't
just get
tackle
tired of
people
that
like that with a
quoting,
serious tone.
rhymes and
You
reasons
hear what you
because
want to
they just
hear.
die in the street. They don't want to hear that.
No, no, what you want me to do, you want me to just be like, hey, nuke them all from orbit,
I didn't say that.
kill them. They
But you can't.
know
You
that
can't
would
listen.
that's the
You
narrative
can't
that
even
you're
acknowledge
given.
that you can't acknowledge that there's a problem.
Spike, I've said time and time and time again, and you act like you don't hear me when I say it. I said, hey man, you know what? The dusty criminal style element, this, you know what I'm saying, prevalent when it comes to our side of town, something needs to be done about it. I say that, and you don't hear that. I say that again and again, and you
It's not.
refuse to hear that.
It's not.
And then when I say, well, you know, a lot of this stuff is due to economic deprivation, you
That's
circle
not what
back
you said.
around and keep saying the same thing again and again and again and again and again and again and
Someone
again.
who's
I
listening to
can't
this
convince you
can.
to believe me,
I'm,
man.
I'm gonna tell you what you said. You said I brought up the crime in other areas and other ethnicities, and you said everyone deals with it.
Yeah,
So
everyone
everyone.
commits crime, dude.
No,
It's
no.
crime is about proximity.
You're missing the point.
I'm letting you know what's up.
No, you said everyone commits crime the
Eh,
way that we do, and it's nothing unique about our situation. That's what you said.
if I
You
put you
didn't
in the
say that
middle of
it
the
was
yard,
innocent.
I bet it would change your personality. That was
Well,
said by the late
is there
Manson.
something is there something unique about our situation when it comes to crime and
Yes,
violence?
because we're locked out of opportunity based on race.
Because regardless, I mean,
You don't
is
believe
there?
that?
I'm not here to talk about why people
Larry,
live in
Larry,
certain.
Larry
What
Elder,
is?
Larry. I need to ask you a question. I need to ask you a question. Do you or do you not think that do you think that we're locked out of opportunities based on race?
Do you think there's a disparity between violent
I
crime
can't
in
hear you.
black
The fan is
communities?
talking.
Yes, and it's going to continue to talk. Just keep.
What I'm trying to say is, do you think that we're locked out of opportunity based on race?
You never answer my question.
I can't hear your question because the fan is asking all the questions.
I said, do you think? But, you throwing me off right now, but you can't even acknowledge that there's a problem, dude. You're looking at,
I
oh,
don't. What
this is
is
why
an
there's a problem,
Spike?
but you're not
What is
acknowledging
an
it.
answer? No, no. What's an answer to you? Because obviously you're rejecting what's being said.
No.
You
Okay,
keep rejecting what's being said because of how it's being said.
let me straw man the argument. I said, is there a problem we've seen violence and crime in the black community. Your response is, well, yeah, Asians, they have violence. Everyone has violence, and there's
So
nothing
we're
unique
just
about our
extra. So we're
situation.
extra super duper violent.
I don't know, but the point is,
No, answer that question. No, answer the question. Let's nail this shit to the wall because I'm
without,
tired of the whole moving target thing. Are we
without,
extra super valid because of our genetics? Let's get to the damn point, Spike. I
I'm not,
don't like
I'm not,
talking in circles.
I'm not an expert on that, but we'll get to that
Man,
after we deal with the first question. That was
no, Spike, you know what I'm saying? You're my friend, man, but you have to start getting
without
specific,
saying
bro.
this,
You be
the
dealing in
question was
vagaries, and I don't know where you're going with it. You act like you don't hear me.
because you refuse to just be silent and answer the question. You
I don't
prefer to
even know
mon-
what you want me to add.
you
Like,
prefer
what
to
are you
monologue.
missing?
Okay, I'm going to straw man the conversation once again, and let's see
No,
what
tell
you
me, no,
conclude.
tell me straight up. What exactly are you saying? I don't even know what you're saying.
I'm saying that you don't believe that there's disparity between violence and crime within the black community and other races. You think that it's equal and the numbers don't matter because they're not real or something.
No, what I say is no. What I say is crime is not unique to us. We're not criminals walking the planet looking for the next thing to steal or person to kill. I don't
That's
believe that.
that's obvious. That's an obvious statement that everyone agrees to.
That's
So
what I
what?
mean when I
That's
say
not the topic.
crime. Right? When I say about crime, you know what I'm saying. As far as the same, that's what I mean.
You're
Okay, I've
never gonna
answered
understand.
that question.
As long as you're monologuing, you're never gonna hear the actual question. You're never gonna get an answer because you didn't hear it.
Okay, go ahead, man. Like,
The thing is, you haven't been able to admit that there's a difference without saying yes. Everyone, we understand everyone commits crimes. That's not the point. Right. The point that's trying to be made is that there's a disparity. We have a larger, we have a, I don't know, you got me stuck right now.
I know that's called intelligence, and logic.
No, it's actually not. But the thing, because it's like you basically interrupted me several times to the point where my thought process, and then I'm playing the game at the same time.
We gotta learn how to
You inter-
multitask. But here's the thing: you want to say that
no,
there's a greater disparity in Black society because of our culture. What cultural defect is it genetic, Spike?
okay.
I mean, let's get to the point. You said this before. You might as well say it again.
Before you inserted the second part, that's the first part of your statement is what I agree with. Now, the second part of your statement is you would reply with everyone commits crime. We understand that. No one's arguing against that. No one, we understand that Asians we just do it at a much higher rate. Do we agree with this, or do we not
And
agree?
why do you think that is?
Okay, we didn't. That wasn't the question. The question wasn't why. The question is what is.
So you want me to say we just committed crime at a higher rate and leave it there? I can't hear you, Spike.
First, you have to acknowledge what is. You can't even acknowledge the fact that we commit
No,
crime at a higher rate.
no. What I'm
So
trying to say is, you want me to say we commit crime at a higher rate and then say nothing else from there. You want me to say yes, we commit crime at a higher rate and just
so
say
so
nothing else after that.
so
Give
listen.
no kind of clarity or explanation. No, we just commit crime at a higher rate,
Have
which
have have
leaves it open for
have
interpretation that we're just this is who we are.
have so this is something that you agree with. You do agree that we commit crime at a higher rate. This is what the whole of the
No,
last 10 minutes has been
no, I
about.
don't agree that. No, I don't agree with that.
How do you not agree with numbers? I don't
Because I
understand.
don't agree with a blanket statement because there's no context given to that. I don't like these simplistic yes and no questionnaires to where
We're
there's
not
no
here.
context given
We
to
are
it.
not here to listen. Right now, the conversation hasn't evolved in the context. It might get there. But right now, we're trying to figure out what is and what isn't. And did you acknowledge that it's a bigger issue in our community than others, right? Like this is, you can acknowledge it, but then you have to say X, Y, Z. But can you just
No,
acknowledge
I
it?
have to give an explanation because I'm
I know you,
thoughtful. I
I
don't
know you
sit
do.
around here and just, give a yes or no response, because if I were to sit up here, Spike, and say yes, we commit crime at a higher rate, yes, we do this, and yes, we do that, and leave
But
it
do we
there,
not?
that leaves no, that leaves us open for attack, for for there to be damn laws made against us.
But is that the case? That's what all I'm trying to get to. For the last 15 minutes,
No, it's
is
not the
that the case?
case. No, it's not the
So,
case.
so, so that's
Because if you
it's
look
not
at
that.
no, if I'm not
So
no,
we're
I'm
back.
not going along with that. I'm not. I
So
mean,
we
if you're
don't.
looking for
We don't.
somebody,
So we don't commit crimes at higher rates than other people.
no,
Is what you? That's what you
no,
said.
no, we don't.
We don't.
If you want a
So,
straightforward answer, the answer is no.
so the numbers are lying to us. Is what you're saying.
Yes, yes. I'm just gonna get straight to the point.
What?
Yes, yes,
What
the numbers are
reason?
lying. Yes, because
What
here's the
reason?
thing. You
What
want
reason would the state of Philadelphia have,
no,
the
no,
government? What
no,
reason would they
no.
have to lie about
No,
something like
here's the
that?
thing. If you want a straight answer, I'm going to tell you exactly what's the thing. The numbers are lying. We don't commit crime at a higher rate, and the reason why I say that is because you want to fashion a field to where that's who we are.
I didn't say any of that yet. Right now, before we can get to the second half of the conversation, you have to acknowledge and meet some common ground in the first half. And you
No,
basically painted out the
no.
situation. You said we don't commit
I
crimes at
do
higher rates.
not accept you giving these narratives. I don't accept it.
I didn't give a narrative. This is a multi-part conversation. You state the rules. It's just like if there aren't rules for logic, then what's what and what's
Let me give
actually.
you an example, Spike, because you seem to be missing what's being said.
I do
Now,
understand what's said.
imagine 1 second, 1 second. 'Cause let me give you an example.
You're
Let's
missing.
say somebody goes off and kills a whole bunch of random people, and I just say, "Hey, man, that's just who they are." But I give you no context as to why, what I'm saying, stuff went down that road. Not to give justification. Not to give justification. Let me say that a third time. Not to give justification, but to say, hey, this is what led up to that. This is what I'm doing when I put context to what you see. If I say, hey, yes, the numbers are higher, but here's the reason why. I'm not going to cut
Context,
off, here's the reason
context comes.
why.
Context comes after the fact. You have to have the rules of the conversation and the debate set first.
Well,
You
let's see
can't
where
give.
this goes.
You
Yes, let's
can't.
see where this goes. Yes,
You
we
can't.
commit crime at a higher rate. Now what?
Okay, we commit crime at a high rate.
Yeah,
That's all.
now what?
That's all I wanted you to acknowledge. And before we can find a solution to the problem, we first have to admit that one exists. So the second part of the conversation will probably go into the context of why the solutions of it. But we can't get to the second part of the conversation if people don't acknowledge
No, because
the
narratives are
reality of the
painted
first.
that way, Spike. When you just say that without context given, because here's the thing, I'm merging the problem with the reason to why, and you're
No, you
trying to
shouldn't do that.
separate the two.
You shouldn't do that.
Until you're trying to get an acknowledgement step one, and then a solution step, or a rhyme and a reason step two. I'm saying I'm doing, I'm saying one merge with two, because I
You don't have
realize that's
acknowledgement.
used as a narrative.
If you don't have an acknowledgement of a set of rules, an acknowledgement of how to play the game, there's no point in
Nah, it's
going
not
before
even
the.
about that, Spike. I'm just,
You have
people
to
use
acknowledge
that
it. I
stuff
don't
as
mean
a
to
weapon.
actually do it.
It's used as a weapon, and I know
I
that.
I actually don't care whether how it's used. I just care about the facts
Well, you
and
should care because they create
here
laws
here
based off these
here
narratives.
are the facts and where do we go from here? But if we can't acknowledge that the facts exist, the facts matter, then
And
nothing's ever going to be solved.
I'm just not going to say it in the manner in which you wish for me to express it. But for the sake of this discussion, I'll let you go along with that narrative. So yeah, we commit crime at a higher rate. Now, what's the solution,
Okay, no, you go to the cause first before you get to
Spike?
the solution.
Come
So
on,
you
man.
acknowledge, you basically acknowledge that there is a problem. You acknowledge that the numbers are correct, which I don't know why you dismissed it earlier. You're coming, oh, somebody just shot.
No, I told you the rhyme and the reason as to why. You just didn't accept it. You wanted me to
Now it's
say it
time.
in a certain way for the sake of
Now
moving
it's
forward.
time. Now it's time to go into the round of the reason. Now it's
Now,
time
what's
to
the
do
rhyme
that.
of the reason? Excuse me. What's the rhyme of the reason? I gotta hear this.
I didn't say I had the answer, but I have a bunch of.
Okay, I want to hear it. I'm all ears. Not even sarcastically. Tell me what's the solution.
No, I would like to hear your explanation first because you was trying to get it off. Before we could even acknowledge what the facts of the situation are, you kept trying to insert it. Now's your time to insert it. And, you know, you have the floor.
Um, what I'm saying, Spike, is that a lot of this stuff that you see now is cultivated. It's not some kind of accident. It's done by design. If you create economic deprivation, you will create a demographic of criminals, man. They will run rampant. What did Ra's al Ghul say when it came to Batman and the Dark Knight? Create enough hunger and everybody becomes a criminal. This is, the lens through which I see society.
Listen, we already acknowledged that everybody isn't a criminal. You
I
said
understand that.
we have larger amounts of these issues than other people. That's what you said.
Because we're targeted more. You do realize that. Do you
Who,
acknowledge that we're targeted
who,
more?
who we targeted by?
To be perfectly honest, we're targeted by everybody because white supremacy as a philosophy covers this entire planet, especially this nation. You can go to a certain degree, as far as success, but if there's too many of you, that's when your success starts being sabotaged. Our success is sabotaged. They do not want us to be self sufficient
So give me
because that makes
examples
us
of
a threat.
give me examples of sabotage success by other groups of
Well,
people.
the situation that happened with the
My,
turkey leg hut. They were
my,
trying to take
my,
that business out of commission simply because it was a black owned business.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm sure you don't because you don't keep track of this stuff. But I'll take it to Black Wall Street, stuff like that. And that was
I was
just one
I was
that
actually
was just
going to
one
say
situation.
something modern.
Yeah, well, I said the turkey leg hut. You said you didn't know about that. And also, there's various other scenarios. These random Kens and Karens, where do you think
So
they
how
come from,
so
Spike?
so where do these black millionaires and billionaires come from?
No, they
Society
stop it
doesn't
before it ever happens.
no,
Remember, remember
they
when Remember when these
yeah,
random Kens and Karens would step out the shadows, trying to shut down black people for doing this and black people for doing that? That's
you're
not
saying
some
that there are
accident. It's flipped to a
you're saying that
cultural thing to where
there are
we have
no
to duck and
successful.
dodge and be the Brer Rabbit about, just being safe.
So are there any successful black
There's a few. If you grow too fast, then that becomes a problem. Then they start looking for ways to thin those numbers. And if you actually understand the philosophy of white supremacy, you'll begin to understand why they do that. They don't like competition. They look at you as a genetic threat. Your complexion is your crime, and the case is built around that. Understand, white society, those who believe in that philosophy, they are fighting off extinction. Do you understand that? And other races, they will also act akin too. If they're Asian, if they're Arab, if they're Jewish, if they feel a strong connection to their whole quote unquote bloodline, they will develop this hostility towards us, to where they don't even want us to fuck around. Do you
interesting
understand that? Or do you think that's some kind of, I'm just whistling Dixie? I mean, it's so out there to the open. I don't know how people this late in the game can even play make believe as if this stuff doesn't happen.
So what are the examples that the white supremacy is used to hold the black society down? Like what
Well,
examples?
number one, I mean, you could look at them running freeways through black business, through black districts. You could look at that. You could look at,
But
when it comes to housing. I mean, we have situations to where, our homes are depreciated as far as value, but when you put a, what I'm saying, a white person's face to somebody trying to buy a house, all of a sudden it gains value. These disparities add up, Spike.
why do
It's
you think it gains
systematic.
value?
Huh?
Why do you think it gains value?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Why do you think it gains value?
One second, man. Let me listen closely because I really can't hear you. What'd you say?
Why do you think a white face makes a home gain value?
because they want white neighbors, because they want white grandkids, because they want white great grandkids. They don't want to. They don't like miscegenation.
So you think it's all based on just the color of
Uh,
people's skin?
they don't think about life and death the way we do, Spike. They think to not be white anymore is death. Is to go extinct. Is to not exist, and that's what they fight off. They think about not being white anymore as extinction. That's what they're fighting, Spike. When you can acknowledge what they're afraid of, you begin to understand how the game is played. Your complexion, there is no we are the world thing when it comes to people trying to fight off extinction.
A couple minutes ago, we just acknowledged that we have a higher rate of criminality than other groups. And then you ask the question, why does a white face increase property value? That might be why they
No.
want to live in safer areas.
Here we
But it
go.
doesn't have anything to do with race. I mean, don't you want to live in a safer area that's
Well, let me
not
ask you a
racist?
question. The kid who was shot to the damn face that for knocking on that one neighbor's door. Do you
For
think he
report the
just did that
situation.
because he thought he was getting mugged? Or did he do that because he's not used to seeing black people around and somebody knocking at his door he saw as a threat just because? For no damn rhyme or reason.
And there will always be issues in
Yeah, and
situations
that
like
kid was
that.
sitting up playing the classical music, this and that, but he still, his classical music playing self was shot to the face.
Anything that
They
guy
will
was
beat your
shot
ass in a suit
should have never been
with a
released.
high
Should have
credit
been
score, graduating from the most prestigious school, because it's not based off who you are as a person, it's based off you being non-white because they don't want to go
when you give
extinct.
when you give a bunch of careless apes uh, violent weapons, you expect that like inevitably there's gonna be situations like that. You know?
See, that's the thing,
The
man.
thing
You
is, I'm gonna
invoke
give you an
stuff that
example.
nobody gives a damn about
I'm,
when it comes to the
it does
moving
matter.
parts.
His racism wouldn't have been able to shoot that kid if he didn't have a gun in his hand to
Uh,
shoot.
Spike, he doesn't
Give everyone
care.
a weapon, and eventually things like
It's
that
not
will
about give
happen.
everyone a weapon. You have to have a eugenics mindset to be at that level. They don't think the way we do. People who embrace that philosophy, they think at the level of dog breeders, man. They want to be purebreds. You don't understand how far they go to do that. I mean, you can't wrap your mind around the idea that they'll kill you because you're not white.
Sounds like
You can't wrap your mind around that.
so every white person wants to kill black
No,
people.
no, it's not every white person, Spike. It's those who embrace that philosophy. What's the difference between a radical Muslim and a moderate one? The mindset. A radical Muslim who's offended won't do business with you. A moderate Muslim who's offended by what you said when it comes to what they believe won't do business with you. A radical will shoot your ass on sight because you blaspheme the prophet. You understand me? It's at two different levels. The mindset makes all the difference.
I do have a response to that, but you're not going to listen anyway.
Go ahead. Go ahead and tell me.
I mean, statistically, that the numbers aren't in your favor. Like, it's
Yeah.
not. We're killing each other. These aren't white people.
Okay. I don't know what to say, man.
Well, first of all, before you say anything, you should at least acknowledge what the reality of the situation is. I think
And I
that's
just find
important.
this so fascinating. The white people, when you tell them what the issue is, when you say, hey, man, we're white and the rich are, systematically, they're making us poor and, we're starving and we need to do something. I don't have to fucking
I
argue
mean,
with somebody else who's white and I'm telling them what's the problem. That's the most frustrating thing about black people is even when something's in front of our fucking face, we'll argue the point.
I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, we don't. That's what makes them smart and us dumb. I'm gonna be honest, man, because they don't. You don't have to sit up there and go back and
I agree with
forth.
that. I agree
Yeah,
with
if I
that.
was white and I said, hey, man, you know something, we're being systematically targeted when it
I
comes to,
agree.
what I'm saying, the rich. They're trying to get us out the paint. They want to make us poor. I don't have to sit through a whole damn, debate with
not
somebody else
understand how
who's
much,
white, to
not
convince them.
understanding how
They'll
much
be like,
that
"Oh,
means.
really? Well, how is that happening? Oh, wow. Well, what should we do about it?" It is such a beeline, straightforward. What do we do next? Because this is the problem with other black people. It's like trying to pull goddamn teeth. They just won't believe you, even if the shit's in front of them. That's so goddamn annoying, man.
It's not
I
about
mean,
belief.
it's fucking frustrating. Because it's a willful ignorance. It's like, okay,
I
this
agree.
is.
I agree 1,000. I agree with everything you said. But I think it applies to the other side of all this.
It's just, yeah. I mean, look, man. These topics usually just get me hot because I'm just. It's like it just gets frustrating, man.
I'll let you monologue. I'll let you go on. You brought up some points, and the way you conveyed those points, you believe that there's a epidemic
Yeah.
going on where white people are slaughtering us in large numbers,
No,
killing the
it's not.
majority.
It's not about them being white, Spike. It's about them having a mindset. That's the thing. Whenever you hear the word white supremacist, you make it interchangeable with white itself. That's like, well, what's the difference between Donald Trump and John Brown? There is a difference, Spike. Yeah, I'm sorry to monologue, but you keep flipping my words around.
Okay, but if someone was listening to you, let me put it this way: if an alien from another planet was listening to the monologue,
I can't hear you.
the PlayStation thing popped up. Yeah, aliens from another planet were listening to the monologue that you just gave. They would assume that there's a war going on and there's white supremacists popping out of the bushes ready to kill every black person. But the numbers don't represent that. You know, the numbers don't represent that at all.
The economic numbers represent it. The disparities
Well,
represent it.
well, to me, the worst thing a human being could do to another human being is take the life of another human being.
Well, our situation is some kind of accident. And if I told white people about the same thing and it was happening to them and they saw a pattern, the last thing they would do is go back and forth with me about this. It
No, no.
wouldn't be a point to
What an
argue.
intelligent white person would say is, let me look this up. Apparently, we're being killed by these blacks. They would want to look at the stats, say, does the numbers align with the belief? That's what they would do. That's what
And
we
they're
need to
just
do.
more forward when it comes to them acknowledging a threat. You don't have to pull teeth and restate the obvious again and again and again several different ways for them to get the point. It
What if
just
I
gets
said that that was
annoying.
a threat that existed in our heads only?
What'd you say?
What if I said that the whole monologue that you gave was a threat that existed inside the heads of ourselves, and it didn't exist, and the numbers didn't represent none of what you said? Would you
Yeah,
disagree with the numbers, or I mean,
but I
or the
disagree
numbers
with the
don't match?
numbers.
Because earlier in the night you said that we commit crime at higher rates than other people. Who are we committing these crimes against? I mean, yes, occasionally you might kill a white
Well,
person,
crime is
but
about proximity, so it's probably each other.
exactly. So if you're an alien from another planet and you're looking down and you hear someone giving this monologue and you're looking at the stats and you're saying to yourself, this isn't adding up. What you're claiming isn't accurate because these are the people that are taking your lives and it looks like you.
Stats. The thing is, Spike, stats need context, man. They definitely need to be reviewed.
But before they need context, they need to be acknowledged whether or not they're accurate and whether or not we agree with these stats. And if they aren't accurate, we need to find out why aren't they accurate, and we need to have a sound explanation for why they're accurate outside of conspiracy theories and wild things like that. But yeah, the numbers don't support none of what you said. You've seen the numbers. I've seen the numbers.
And and the biggest problem, Spike, with going along with your narrative is that the problem persists. That's the ultimate kicker, the catch 22, where the chickens come home to roost. Going along with
What
your
problem?
narrative, well,
What
according to
problem?
the stats, black people hate
What
each
problem?
other more than they hate this and that. So
What problem
obviously, what they
persists?
face is not the problem. What would you say?
What problem persists? What are you referring to?
What I'm trying to say is the systematic targeting that we experience when it comes to racism, and we just being tailored, population
Is this
tailored.
racism? Is this racism causing us? I mean, are these races killing us on mass levels to the degree that
From power
we're
positions, how do you think Flint, Michigan happened? Do you think that happened by accident, or
weren't
was
there
it deliberate?
weren't there black people in charge of those countries and states and
No, I
congressmen?
mean,
Like,
no, it was actually what's that dude, Rick Schneider? I think it was Rick Schneider who let that stuff happen, who switched the water
what
around to the
what about the guy Patrick Kwame? Wasn't he in there about 10, 15 years ago?
spike. I'm telling you, who flipped the water around. You're trying to,
I
you
just
like you. I think
I
to a
understand
large
that.
degree,
But what I'm saying is things don't happen overnight. There's a gradual thing, and the people
yeah,
who are
it
in
was done.
office before play a role in what contributed currently.
Why is it so hard for you to say, "Hey, man, we're being targeted"? Why is it so hard for you to say that?
We are being targeted. If you look at the
Yeah,
stats,
you'll say
you'll
by
find
each
out.
other. You'll say by each other.
Is that an inaccurate statement?
No, because it
So it's
removes
not.
context. And then we go to this back and forth again to where you want me to say yes, we're being targeted and
I
leave it
asked you
there.
if that was an inaccurate statement. You said
It
no.
is,
So
Spike,
it's not.
because our stuff is about proximity. Okay, we're
Okay.
not going to come to an agreement here because I'm not going to answer the stuff in a way that you want me to.
Hmm.
Because a lot of this stuff is you just wanting to hear it a certain way. You want me to say, hey, man, you know something? We
It's
hate
not
each
about
other
that.
and we're
It's
targeting
about
each other, and then you want
It's
me to
about
leave it there.
acknowledging. It's about acknowledging what is before we can go on to the context or solutions. But if we can't even acknowledge what is,
The stuff is systematic, Spike. Yeah, whatever, man. Like, honestly, this kind of shit is giving me a headache.
I personally think that murder is the worst form of crime you can commit. I don't. I mean, maybe there's some blue collar white guy preventing some black person to get a job. I
It's
don't know. Maybe
no,
that.
it's not just one
Right.
person calling you the N word, Spike. It's a network of people who feel a certain way about you from a power position who limit your growth because they see
Hmm.
you as competition. Do you understand that?
And that's worse than
It
taking
is
the
far
individual's life.
worse because if I control your airspace, I can limit how far you grow as a people.
Hmm.
If I lock up your males, you're no longer a threat to me because you're not walking the streets, being competition. If I sabotage your schools, I make you dumb and you kill each other. If I poison your water, you develop defects. It's not hard. How is it hard to wrap one's mind around that? I don't
So
understand that.
so there's so there's
What, you
white
can't
supremacists.
believe it? It's just unfathomable for you to believe?
So there's white supremacists out here poisoning the water of black
Yes,
areas.
people who move in that manner, yes. Like, honestly, man, it's like so much stuff can happen to us. You have people just playing dumb. I don't even think it's even a case of people not knowing. It's like a broken spirit. It's like dealing with conditioning. People who know what is, but they just don't feel that that's the case. They can't fathom it. They can't wrap their minds around it. Who gives a damn what they can understand? Only thing you need to know is it happening?
So we've established that you don't think uh, murdering a person is the worst thing you can do to a group of people, right?
Like I said before, create enough hunger and everybody becomes a criminal, man. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand how you can't just understand that.
So
That's
I
beyond me.
don't
I don't
I, I don't
understand.
I don't understand how, like you said, create. These white people are gods.
Create enough hunger and everybody becomes a criminal. Our condition is not some damn accident. It's
We've
not
acknowledged
genetic. It's
we've
not
acknowledged that
cultural. It's
we want to
done
work in the system.
deliberately by people who want to live.
But you just acknowledge that we have larger areas of crime than other people. So you said
Yes.
everyone becomes a criminal. Everyone obviously doesn't become a criminal if it's larger in our area.
And I'm gonna be honest, man. If it wasn't for black people being, if it wasn't for the select few, the 300 that know, we would be screwed as a people. Like if it wasn't for the few who said, "Hey, man, there's a bigger game being played," we would be done. Because this broken spirit is a fucking cancer, man.
I think it's important to be grounded in reality. I mean, it's great to have the feel good stuff and all that, but reality must be important to some degree.
I could only imagine being on a fucking plantation hearing this stuff. That shit, like,
But
man, I would have to
the
cook,
point is,
you a
we aren't on a
special
plantation.
dish.
Some people do think we
I'm
still are.
serious, bruh.
The way we act and behave, some people think we are still on the plantation.
Um, I'm gonna be honest, Spike. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I see you as a friend, but we have to get your man up to speed, bro. Like we really do.
Facts should matter, bro.
And
Facts don't matter.
eugenics is a big game being played, and you refuse to
Facts,
acknowledge that. The
facts
facts
don't
and
matter.
logic and science and math of eugenics is that people who believe in white supremacy, they don't want to go extinct.
You have your mind made up with that.
If you don't want to go extinct, Spike, if you want your children, your grandchildren, your great grandchildren to look like you're going to engage in certain practices to ensure that that happens.
Now,
You understand?
how does a 30-year-old white woman engage in practices to keep that
Easy.
going? How do they do that?
Easy. All she has to do is play her part. She can either be on a jury and acquit somebody who guns down a black person unjustly. She can be a teacher and not really teach the black kids in her classroom. She can be a nurse or a doctor and make sure that the black woman who's pregnant does not
Sounds like a
deliver
giant
that baby.
conspiracy.
It is no, it's not a conspiracy because when you realize there's people out here who think like that, you
I'm sure
begin to
there are.
realize that, hey man, I better watch my step.
I'm sure there's lots of sick people in this world. That's
No, yeah,
certain.
it is it's a mental depravity. I wouldn't even call it a sickness. Because sickness almost makes it like they're a victim. No, they're a perpetrator. They're not a victim of how they feel. They indulge in these sentiments. Reprobates.
I think black people will be just like the guy Sabra Garvey said. If black people were more cerebral, we'd be in a much better state.
Yeah,
We act on emotions and all this stuff. It's not important.
yeah.
Focus on what's what.
Keep ignoring the elephant in the room, man.
All these grand conspiracies is not gonna get us nowhere.
Keep ignoring the elephant in the room.
Well, I think a lot of people still believe we're on a plantation. Still believe that
Yeah,
the
I'm gonna be honest.
overseer,
If I was
they
on a
still believe the
plantation,
overseer.
if I was on a plantation, I'm gonna be honest, man. I wouldn't be having these debates. That's the last damn thing I would be doing, is sitting around talking to somebody about how
According
racism is
according to
really
we
a,
are
a
in a
problem. I'm not.
plantation.
That's the last thing I would do. And them sitting up talking to me about how we have it good and we're our own worst enemy.
No,
Hell no.
I think homicide is much worse than this. That's just
Yeah,
that's where I fall, and that's where I will always stand.
I mean, look, I understand. Your mindset is anecdotal. You going off what you've seen and what you've been around. I'm saying, hey man, there's a wizard behind the curtain. There's a reason why your situations look like that. But hey man, keep denying whatever, man. It's whatever, man. I can't help you.
But the mind is about being grounded in reality, and the reality doesn't match your belief. And you have to come to that acceptance.
Man, it's not about
That's something.
belief.
That's something you have to do personally. I can't help you with that.
When somebody can kneel on your neck, you know what I'm saying, and people just, hey man, they just stand there. That shows the
I agree.
temperature
I
of
I
the
agree.
atmosphere. That's the
I agree.
temperature of the room.
Same thing happened to Tony Temple. I agree.
Who the heck is Tony Tempa?
Exactly. That's the problem. That's the problem with society.
Yeah,
I don't have
was
I
somebody
don't.
white a white sacrifice?
It's the same situation that happened about 6 months before the big situation that people decided to focus on, and it was the exact same situation.
Oh,
And
so because it happened to Tony Tempa, then there's no racism there.
no, that's the point. Is these things happen, and if it happens a certain way, then it fits the narrative that certain people are trying to push.
I feel what you're saying, Spike. So Daniel Shaver, who was shot down to a hallway begging for his life, he was a white guy. Now, if it was a black guy shot down the hallway begging for his life,
I
it
don't
would
know
be
who
a
that is.
whole riot. Yeah, that's my point. You don't know because really it's all about you trying to push a point.
I don't know who Daniel Shaver is.
Daniel Shaver is somebody who was innocent and he was shot down anyway. You know what I'm saying? Saying, hey, please don't shoot me. But since he was shot down in that fashion and he was white, if somebody black is shot down in that fashion, being black, then I should automatically assume, hey, you know something? It
I've
happened to this
gotten.
white guy, so it happened to this black guy. That
I
doesn't mean
can't
much
comment.
because it happened to him
I can't
first.
comment on that story because I don't understand the context of it. I don't.
Well, you don't look up the video because it's definitely something you don't want to see. But basically, it was this white guy who was an exterminator who the neighbors called police on, talking about he's wielding a gun, which was a pellet gun.
Was this this Hispanic guy?
No, it was a white dude. He wound up getting
But
shot down
the point
because
is,
the captain was playing Simon Says with
the point is,
AR-15s.
when you have a society that believes that any and everyone can carry a deadly weapon, these things will happen. It's
No, it's not.
statistically, that's just statistically, it's inevitable. It's an inevitability that these sort of things will happen when you have weapons.
No, it's not. These
You
things will happen. We're dealing with
It will
We're
happen.
dealing with psychopaths, man.
So you're saying that these things will never happen if like under certain conditions, like
Yeah, I'm saying if people's asses were punished for doing that kind of stuff, then they would
you're not
lose that bloodlust
you're
and
not
start
living
taking their
reality.
job seriously.
You're not living reality. You have millions. It's basically like Grand Theft Auto. You put the cheat code in for chaos, and chaos will ensue.
I'm saying if you start punishing people for the stuff that they do that's out of bounds,
You
that
have a
whole oop shit will clear up very quickly because people don't want to experience consequences. It doesn't happen. That's why it persists. People don't make those kind of mistakes again and again and again and again. That stuff happens on purpose. There's no fear of consequences.
there's places where it doesn't happen, and we know why these things don't happen, and the
What are
answer
you
is
talking
very
about? We know
obvious.
why things don't happen.
You don't see this in Australia and Canada that much.
We don't see what?
You don't see these sort of things in Australia and Canada that much. And there's a reason for it, and we know the reason, but our belief system chooses makes us look the other way because it doesn't coincide with what we believe. We believe that everyone
Eh,
has right to bear arms, and because of that belief system, we're going to see situations like this.
it's not the guns that are the problem, Spike. It's the ones pulling the trigger.
I'm pretty sure that's obvious. That's not the point. The point is you do not. My audio went out. The point is you do not
Yeah.
give hairless apes deadly weapons and expect things to go well. It's just not intelligent.
Nah,
White
give me
people,
my
white
gun. I'm
people,
not going to play by rules nobody else is living by for the
well,
sake of some kind of,
that
claim
type
to
of
higher
philosophy,
morality.
that type of philosophy is why we're in the situation we're in now.
Yeah, well, yeah,
The term "reap what you sow."
you
This is
should
what we
give
want.
me my AR-15. I'm
This is
not
what we
allowing
want.
my fate to be decided by a
I, I,
sociopath.
I just personally think it's hypocritical that we complain about these things.
I'll be a
But
hypocrite.
yeah, I mean,
To
that's
that
fine. But
fashion, I will gladly embrace the title of a hypocrite because you're not going to
I'm
shoot at me and I'm just sitting there talking about it's well with my soul. I'm gonna shoot back.
But
I have
that
the right to
philosophy
defend
is
myself, the
why
God-given right to
America,
defend myself.
America's in the situation we're in, and other countries aren't. And it's really, the debate should really end there. Because when you have other people not having the issues that you're having, but yet we're still monologuing about what we should do and what we shouldn't do, and you have an example of people not dealing with that, then it just at this point it becomes stupidity and retardation.
Uh, it's
You
not
know,
really hard to figure out, to be honest.
it's
We
really not,
can
especially
actually fix
when
this. It's just that we too many greedy people.
well, part of the reason is guns. The fact that any and everyone can have them.
It's not even guns. It's not guns. Don't do anything. They're inanimate objects. It's the people pulling
That's
the
not.
trigger.
That's a stupid comment when you look at the examples we have around the world where countries that don't have guns don't have these issues. But
You would
we're
just be
entitled to
getting
believe what we want.
stabbed.
Yes, that's another reason. I mean, we would be getting stabbed, and then we have to find out why are we getting stabbed. What is the root cause of that? And there's various reasons, and people don't want to be honest. They don't want to. We don't live in reality. We want to believe in our belief systems, and people don't want to have conversations. They want to monologue,
You
cause
talk about me.
grandstanding.
They
No, I'm
want to
just saying,
talk
not
in
just
a
you, but
monologue. I
politicians
understand.
in general. Politicians in general. We're talking to their base, and we're trying to fire up their base and saying things that they agree with. No one's having honest conversations about anything, and that's why we're where we're at.
Oh, would you
And
say it's a
other
bunch of
countries don't.
grifters? Would you say it's a bunch of
Absolutely,
grifters?
absolutely. Panderers, grifters
Well,
on both sides of the equation.
just understand this, Spike. Even though you don't think that I go along or agree with what you say as far as saying stuff being an issue as far as Black Society. Even though I've told you time and time and time again that I see stuff, I see the whole high crime rate as an issue. I would still I would still tackle that issue with the same fervor that you would. I would say when it comes to addressing it. I would be sitting up tolerating these
Right now,
people
you're
running and
not.
gunning.
Right now, you're
No,
not.
I'm
Putting
just I
more
wouldn't
energy into
say it.
something that doesn't exist. You're
Okay,
wasting your time and energy on something that doesn't exist.
and that's what I'm talking about. They've convinced you that this system doesn't exist, so
Not
they
about
can move
convincing.
forward
It's
all the same because you
looking at
don't
the
even see
numbers.
your opponents on the chessboard.
Well, the numbers are what matters the most, and that's
Well,
how we get
statistically speaking, okay.
statistically speaking, the numbers aren't in favor of your
Um,
argument. And I
I'm
think you
just
kind of
saying.
know that because when your response is the numbers don't matter, then that means you don't care.
Nah, I'm just saying I would tackle the issue seriously. You can say, "Hey, man, you
So why
you're
aren't
you're
you?
off the
There's an
track."
issue and you're not tackling it. Why
Oh,
aren't you?
trust me. Well, yeah. Well, here's the thing, dude. There's
You
something big
focus
that I'm
on
set to do.
imaginary things that don't matter. You're focused on the fact that somebody looked at a black person wrong. Right? To me,
No, I'm
racism
not. No.
is
Where the
unfortunate.
heck? Where the heck did you get this idea that I'm focused on that they looked at somebody
No,
sideways?
that's the anecdotal. That's just an example. It's like you think
Of
racism is the
what?
worst. It's an example of you thinking racism is the worst thing.
It is because it determines how far you climb in life.
It's not near the worst thing.
It's bigger than you realize, bro. I didn't think it was as big as it was. So I kind of understand what you're
Listen,
saying.
it is a problem, but it's not the greatest threat to civilization the way you make it out to be. I would
Oh, it
rather be around
is.
a racist than a rapist, a
Oh,
murderer.
yes, it is. It paves the way
Okay.
for that stuff to be normalized. Oh, yes. Oh, trust me, yes, it is. Because it creates an imbalance when it comes to the judicial system. Because the judicial system, under a system of a racial caste system, is not based on right and wrong. It's based on complexion. It's based on population tailoring.
That's a human issue that humans need to figure out. But right now, it's not. As long as they aren't killing people at high numbers and creating genocide at high numbers, then to me, it's not something that should be taking our attention right now.
It is, but
And
you
when
just
there's
don't
about
see it.
I know because what you would rather us focus our attention on what happened tonight in Jacksonville and ignore the 20 kids that got killed last week.
No, I'm saying it.
Because
I'm saying address each and every issue. See what happened out Jacksonville. It's one of these
the,
incel loser ass dudes who sat up
but
there and made another manifesto about nothing.
the issue is we aren't addressing each and every issue. The issue is we're
Well, that's
addressing
another thing that pisses me off. These dudes
what the
going
media
walking
tells
to and
us.
fro.
What there's things that should piss you off much worse than that happen far more often, but they don't. I don't
No.
understand why. Nor what. What was inaccurate about what I just said?
Anyway, I'm about to call it a night as far as this game, man. I'll talk to you later. I'm tired.
Well, one thing happens more often and you seem to ignore it, and it
No, I'm
happens
saying there's a
rarely.
root cause to all this stuff that you choose to ignore.
But
But
you don't
that's
seem
what
to
it
have
is because you don't believe it.
you don't seem to have the same energy or the one
No, you
thing that
just
happened
can't
on.
fathom what surrounds you, bro. You live in a matrix.
I would wish you would have the same energy that you have with these conspiracy theories, with things that are actually
Spike,
happening in the community.
if I
That's all.
sat up there and went along with what you said, it would make all of no difference because you're not acknowledging what actually creates these situations. You're
But
just
you're not
going off, oh
acknowledging
well,
reality. You're
You
not
know what,
acknowledging reality.
Spike? If understand, if you were stabilized economically, you would be sabotaged to where you would come back to this state. You understand that?
It's
It would
all white
happen again.
supremacy's fault.
Yes.
You don't like the
People
word
who
white
practice
people,
that
but
stuff, and,
I,
no, it goes beyond white people, man. It's Asians, it's Jewish people, it's
and,
Arabs. You don't have to
and
be
it's
the complexion. You don't have to
and
be. You don't have to be white to practice the stuff. You mean you should
it
see
has
that much when it comes to honorary Aryans. They
and
will. They. I mean, look at Vivek Ramaswamy. He's whistling their tune,
and
talking
we are
about
completely
Juneteenth is useless. He knows what he's doing. All
and
of these people know what they do.
we are completely unresponsible for anything that goes on in our community.
Okay, Spike, man. I don't know what
That's
to
it.
tell you. I don't know what to tell you.
I
You
mean,
repeating yourself on purpose. You
no,
acting like a.
considering that's what you just said. You said
Uh,
we don't take any agency. We aren't responsible for nothing that goes wrong in our
okay,
community.
okay,
That's what you
yeah,
said. Did you not
whatever,
just say that
man.
in other words?
You just trying to duck and dodge the point.
Eventually, you'll come to reality one day. Like
I couldn't
everyone,
imagine being on a plantation looking to this, man. Listening to
yes,
this, I
and
would be like,
you
nah, man,
shouldn't.
something needs to happen.
I think that's the issue. You shouldn't.
I mean, I can only imagine being on a plantation and this kind of stuff is sitting beside me talking about what's the real
We
problem.
we are going to space, and you're talking about plantations. I think that's the fundamental issue with the philosophy of a lot of Black Americans. We're
Okay.
still living in the past.
No, but no, plantation slavery, all of that stuff is just living to a controlled state.
We are living like Jetsons, and people want to go back to the Flintstones. They're romanticizing
Okay.
about slavery.
No, it's an
We're still
analogy.
looking at things from the lens of that perspective, and I
It
think
was
that's backwards.
what's so funny is if I was talking to somebody white, I wouldn't even have to argue the point
Well,
because automatically it would click.
the white person would pander to you.
No,
Certain
they
white people
wouldn't
wouldn't.
pander. No,
They
they
would
take this
pander.
stuff to
They
heart
don't.
because they understand what
No,
it means to
they don't.
be in
They
a
don't.
competition.
They don't want to lose their jobs. They're saying the wrong thing.
No,
They
no,
don't
they're
want to.
more normalized.
They don't want to get punched in the face by an angry black person. So they're going to pander
No,
and tell
no,
you what you want to hear.
no. Here's the
They
thing,
may have
Spike.
political aspirations. They don't want to get fired from their job. They
No.
like collecting their check
No, I wouldn't have to argue. If I
certain
was a
things.
white guy talking this way to another white man about, hey, man, you know something? We're being disenfranchised, man, and this is what's happening. And such certain set of group of people who believe
You know
this
what you would
way,
be?
they're
You would be
limiting our progress. If I wouldn't have to argue with them about that because shit would just click almost to the point of telekinesis. I
you
wouldn't
would,
have to
you
explain
would,
it.
you would. They would be one white guy would be calling you an Aryan racist and saying that your philosophy
No,
is totally
no,
wrong.
No, there would be a
Yes.
great many of no, there would be a great many of them who would actually slow down and say, "Hey, 1 second, man, you're actually this actually makes sense what he's saying. Let me go
Yes,
look this stuff
and
over." They
these are the
would it would click so fast,
and these
and
are
with
the people
black
that
people,
believe
it starts up
these are
so slow to where it
no
almost
no
makes you want to give up and say, "Hey, man, fuck this. I'm just gonna look out for
these are
myself."
the people and these are the white people who believe in the great genocide. The, that's this
I've
is what you're
told you.
talking about.
I've told you about how they're trying to fight off extinction, but you don't believe
Yes,
that stuff. So,
the white
what can
people,
I say?
the white people. There are certain groups of warped white people, but they are the black version of the Tariq
Oh
Nasheeds.
God.
Is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, brother. I'll talk to you later, man.
The Aryan
I'm
natives are
worn
the
out.
white versions of the Tariq Nasheed.
Yeah, I trust me. I couldn't be on a plantation and talk about this
You're
cat.
still thinking about plantation.
No, because
Knowledge you do not
I'm
that
thinking about
knowledge.
how people back then had to listen to some
Yes,
shit like this, and why I
yes.
understand
And you think
why
there's
Harry
been no
Tubman walked
progress.
around with a shotgun.
You think there's been no progress amongst human beings since
I
then,
don't
right?
even care about this topic anymore, man. I'm worn out. Like this shit
Exactly.
is exhausting.
I
Like
think
their
it's low
stuff is
vib.
exhausting. I've stopped cussing.
I I think it's low vibrational conversations where
Okay,
you got people talking about science, philosophy, and all this stuff, and we're talking
all
about the white man hates
all the
us.
shiny
That's
things.
no. It's just it's human innovation, human creativity.
My goodness,
You
bro.
know,
I'm
intellectual
just thinking
things,
about myself on a
and the
plantation, sitting
exactly,
down,
and black people are
picking
just
cotton,
still
and something like
discussing,
this is
man,
talking.
the white man hate us. That's not an intellectual conversation.
All right, brother. I'll talk to you later, man.
White
There's
man
nothing I
bad.
can say.
White man bad.
No. It's not about the white man. It's about the white supremacist man. I told you from the very beginning, Spike. It's not
Tomato,
interchangeable.
tomato.
No,
Tomato,
no,
tomato.
no. That's like saying radical Muslim and moderate Muslim, dude. They're not one and the same. It's
The
about
white man.
mindset.
The
You
white
don't hear
man.
what I'm saying. Okay,
I'm
well, hear what you want to hear. I'll talk to you later, Spike.
little Asian kids are having these discussions. They're sitting and doing
More,
math.
more biscuit
They're
babble.
creating
Peace.